Picture this. It's 7:42 a.m. School starts in 18 minutes. Your 7-year-old is still in pajamas, building a Lego tower on the living room floor. You've already asked them to get dressed, twice, then 3 times. Each time your voice gets a little louder, a little sharper. You can feel the frustration building in your chest. And here's the thing. You both know how this ends. You'll ask 5 more times, your voice escalating with each repetition, until finally you hit your breaking point and explode. Only then do they move. Here's what just happened. You didn't teach your child to get ready for school. You taught them that your words don't matter until you're at your breaking point. Meanwhile, across the world in Tokyo, a 6-year-old just navigated 2 subway transfers, crossed 4 busy intersections, and arrived at school. Alone, no parent, no GPS tracker, just a child who knows what to do. The difference isn't genetics, it's not culture. It's one counterintuitive principle that completely inverts how we think about discipline. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use it starting tomorrow morning. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. How many times did you say your child's name today before they actually responded? 3 times? 5? 7? And you're doing everything the parenting books tell you to do. You. Give clear, specific instructions. Set consistent boundaries. Follow through with consequences. Use positive reinforcement. Even tried those freaking sticker charts, because every single morning it's the same routine. You tell them to brush their teeth. They ignore you. You say it again, louder. They're still scrolling on the iPad. You threaten consequences. Finally, they move. You think you just won. But here's what actually happened in your child's brain. Their prefrontal cortex, the CEO of self-control, just learned, instructions don't require action, escalation does. You're training them to wait for your stress response. You're conditioning them to rely on your regulation instead of developing their own. And I know this stings, but somebody needs to say it. Every reminder is teaching them they don't need to remember. Every escalation is teaching them to wait for escalation. Every consequence is teaching them to calculate whether the reward is worth the punishment. That's not self-discipline. That's negotiation. And the research backs this up. When we control children through external pressure, threats, rewards, reminders, we activate their stress response. Their amygdala fires, their cortisol spikes, and their prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for self-regulation, essentially goes offline. They're not learning to manage themselves. They're learning to react to us. Which is why the moment we're not watching, at a friend's house, at school, when they're teenagers, everything falls apart. Because they've never actually had to regulate themselves. Now let me tell you what's happening in a typical Japanese elementary school right now. It's lunchtime, but there are no lunch ladies. Instead, 8-year-olds are wearing food service uniforms they brought from home, serving hot meals to their classmates, calculating portions so everyone gets equal amounts, washing dishes, composting food, waste, sanitizing tables. After lunch, they don't go to recess. They clean. Every student, every day. They sweep floors, empty trash, clean bathrooms. Yes, the bathrooms. Water plants, organize classroom supplies. No one is making them do it. No teacher is standing over them. No principal is watching. No rewards are promised. No consequences threatened. They just do it. Because the expectation isn't obedience, the expectation is responsibility. And here's what seems impossible. Japanese first graders have a lost and found system, where if someone loses something, it's the children's responsibility to reunite items with owners. 7-year-olds investigating, problem-solving, taking ownership. When there's a conflict on the playground, teachers don't intervene. They watch. They trust children to work it out. And the children do. Not because they're afraid of getting in trouble. Because they've been taught, from their bodies, not from lectures, how to regulate themselves. So what's the secret? It's a word you've probably never heard, Shitsuke. In Japanese, it's written with 2 characters, shen, body, and mei, beauty. The literal translation is teaching the body, not controlling behavior, not commanding obedience, not managing conduct, teaching the body. Think about it like this. If I want to teach you to play piano, I can't play the piano for you. I can explain technique, demonstrate, guide your hands initially, but ultimately, your fingers have to press the keys. Your muscles have to learn the movements. Your brain has to encode the patterns. Self-regulation works exactly the same way. You cannot build discipline by regulating for your child. They have to practice it. Their nervous system has to experience it. Their body has to learn it. And here's the principle that changes everything. You don't command discipline, you cultivate it. Discipline isn't something you impose from the outside. It's something that grows from the inside when you create the right conditions. It's not, do this because I said so. Do this or else. Do this and I'll give you a reward. It's, your body knows what to do. Let me show you how to listen to it. This is neuroscience, not mysticism. Because when children practice self-regulation in a consistent, supported environment, their brain literally rewires. The basal ganglia creates automaticity. The prefrontal cortex strengthens executive function. The vagus nerve improves stress resilience. They're not obeying, they're becoming self-governing. So how does Shitsuke actually work? It's built on 4 interconnected pillars. And I'm going to walk you through each one because understanding the why is just as important as the how. Pillar 1. Rhythm as neural autopilot. In Japan, children don't get a new set of instructions every morning. They follow rhythms. Not routines where mom dictates every step. Rhythms that the child's body knows by heart. Morning rhythm, after-school rhythm, evening rhythm, weekend rhythm. Here's what's happening neurologically. When a sequence repeats consistently, the basal ganglia, your brain's habit center, creates automatic pathways. Your child's brain stops asking, what comes next? Because it already knows. The behavior becomes unconscious, effortless, self-initiated. Think about your drive to work. You don't consciously think, turn left here, now brake, now signal, now turn right. Your body just knows. That's what rhythm does for children. But here's the key. You have to stop being the narrator. The rhythm is the cue, not your voice. Pillar 2. Contribution as competence. Japanese children aren't given chores. They're given contributions. A 4-year-old carries groceries from the car, not a toy bag, real groceries. A 6-year-old prepares rice for dinner. An 8-year-old helps younger siblings with homework. These aren't tasks done to earn screen time. These aren't jobs done to avoid punishment. These are genuine contributions to the household. The child is needed. The child is capable. The child matters. And here's what the research shows. Humans, even tiny humans, are wired to seek competence. We want to master skills. We want to feel capable. We want to contribute. When you give a child a real responsibility and trust them to handle it, you're not just teaching a skill. You're sending a message to their developing brain that they are someone who handles things, someone people can count on, someone who takes care of what needs taking care of. That becomes their identity. And identity drives behavior far more powerfully than any consequence ever could. Pillar 3. Embodied calm as nervous system training. In Japanese schools, teachers rarely raise their voices. They speak softly, move deliberately, embody the regulation they want children to develop. This isn't just nice, it's neuroscience. Your nervous system and your child's nervous system are in constant communication. When you're calm, your child's vagal tone increases. Their prefrontal cortex stays online. Their body receives the message, we're safe, we can handle this. But when you escalate, when your voice gets loud, your jaw tightens, your movements become sharp. Their nervous system mirrors that. Their heart rate increases. Cortisol floods their system. Prefrontal cortex goes offline. Amygdala takes over. You cannot yell a child into self-control. You cannot rage them into regulation. You have to model it. Your nervous system has to show their nervous system what regulation looks like. Pillar 4. Watchful trust. And this brings us to the foundation that makes everything else possible. In Japanese, there's a concept called mimaru, shuru, which means to watch over, or to protect by observing. It's the practice of not intervening immediately. A child forgets their water bottle. The Western parent grabs it and hands it to them. The Japanese parent says nothing, just waits. The child gets hot at recess, realizes what they're missing, thinks about it, problem solves, asks to refill at the fountain, makes a mental note. Tomorrow, they remember the water bottle, not because they were punished, not because they were praised, because their brain experienced the natural consequence, solved the problem independently, and encoded that learning. This is what builds true resilience. Not protection from discomfort, not rescue from mistakes, trust in their ability to handle it. Your job isn't to prevent every problem. Your job isn't to believe they can solve it. Let me show you what this looks like when all 4 pillars come together. Scenario: your child forgets their homework on the kitchen counter. Traditional Western response: The parent sees it, grabs it, drives to school, and delivers it to the classroom. Message to child's brain: someone will always catch my mistakes. I don't need to remember. Or, the parent sees it and texts the child about how they forgot again and how irresponsible they are. Message to child's brain: I'm bad at remembering. This is who I am. Shitsuke. Response: the parent sees it, says nothing, does nothing. The child gets to school, opens their backpack, realizes what's missing. They feel the discomfort, sit with it, decide to tell their teacher the truth and bring it tomorrow. They experience the natural consequence, whether that means losing points or not. They make a plan to put their homework in their backpack before bed tonight. Next day, homework is in the backpack. The parent didn't fix it, the child did. And their brain just built a neural pathway that says they are someone who solves their own problems. That's Shitsuke. Okay, so how do you actually implement this starting tomorrow? Let me give you 5 specific concrete steps. Step 1. Build body rhythms, not task lists. Stop giving individual instructions. Stop narrating their morning. Instead, create a visual rhythm chart. I don't care if it's drawn on poster board, printed from Canva, or scribbled on a whiteboard. Pictures for younger kids, words for readers. Make it theirs. Morning rhythm: wake body, stretch, bathroom. Feed body, breakfast. Prepare body, dressed, teeth, hair. Gather tools, backpack, lunch, shoes. Here's what's critical. You don't remind, you don't narrate, you don't ask what's next. The chart is there. Their body follows it. First week, they might need you to walk beside them silently, pointing. By week 2, they're checking it themselves. By week 3, their body knows it without looking. Why this works? Predictability reduces resistance. When their brain knows what's coming, it doesn't fight the transition. It prepares for it. You're not controlling them. You're giving their brain architecture. Important. This only works if you stop talking. Every reminder you give is telling their brain not to bother remembering because someone will tell them. Step 2. Replace commands with ownership questions. This single change will transform your relationship. Instead of commanding them to put on their shoes, you ask what their body needs to be ready. Instead of ordering them to clean their room, you ask what their space needs and what their plan is. Instead of yelling at them to stop hitting their sister, you ask what happened in their body just then. I can already hear the pushback. That sounds weak. My kid should just listen when I tell them something. Watch what happens. When you command them to go get their lunchbox from the car, their brain goes into resistance mode. Control versus defiance. When you ask what they need for school today, their brain activates. They start thinking, problem solving. Oh, my lunchbox, it's in the car. They go get it. No argument, no negotiation, no power struggle. Here's why. Commands trigger reactivity. Questions trigger executive function. When you give a command, you're taking responsibility for the action. When you ask an ownership question, you're transferring responsibility to them. And when they make the decision, they follow through, because it's theirs. Step 3. Model with your body, not your words. Try this experiment this week. When it's time to clean up toys, don't announce it. Don't call out clean up time. Don't remind your child. Just quietly, calmly start picking up toys yourself. Don't perform. Don't make a show of it. Don't sigh dramatically. Just do it. Watch what happens. 90% of the time, your child will join you within 30 seconds. Not because you commanded, not because you bribed, because you modeled. Mirror neurons in their brain literally copy what they see. Your energy, your pace, your calm. This is how Japanese parents teach. They embody what they want children to become. They don't lecture about respect. They demonstrate it. They don't preach about responsibility. They live it. They don't explain tidiness. They model it. Your body teaches louder than your words ever could. Step 4. Give real work, not fake tasks. Stop giving your child made-up jobs. Give them actual contributions. Age 3 to 4. Set napkins and forks on the table. Sort laundry by color. Water plants. Feed pets. Age 5 to 6. Fold towels and washcloths. Prepare their own snack. Put away groceries, non-breakables. Pack their own lunch with guidance. Age 7 to 9. Make simple meals. Sandwiches, scrambled eggs. Vacuum their room. Take out trash, recycling. Help younger siblings with tasks. And here's the crucial part. When they do it, don't praise the outcome. Don't tell them they're such a good helper or that they did a good job. Instead, acknowledge the action. Tell them you noticed they remembered their responsibility. Point out that they took care of it without being asked. Mention that their hands knew what to do. Why does this matter? Praise creates dependency on external validation. Their brain learns, I did this to get approval. Acknowledgement builds internal motivation. Their brain learns, I did this because I'm capable and this needed doing. That's the difference between obedience and discipline. Step 5. Regulate yourself first. This is the hardest step. It's also the most important. Before you respond to your child's behavior, before you remind, correct, or redirect, pause. Take one breath. Check your body. Is your jaw tight? Are your shoulders up by your ears? Is your voice about to go up an octave? If yes, you're not regulated. And if you're not regulated, your child won't be either. Japanese parents practice something called gamen, woman, patient endurance. It's the ability to pause, to breathe, to respond from groundedness instead of reactivity. Here's what this looks like in real life. Your child forgets their backpack for the 3rd time this week. The old approach. You explode. You tell them you already reminded them. You call them irresponsible. The Shitsuke approach. You pause. You breathe. You check your body. You ask what they need for school today. They look around, realize their backpack is upstairs, run up to grab it, and come back down. No shame. No lecture. No escalation. Their brain didn't learn that they're irresponsible. Their brain learned that they can catch their own mistakes. And your nervous system just taught their nervous system that you can handle problems calmly. This takes practice. You'll mess up. You'll yell. You'll overfunction. That's okay. But every time you pause, you're rewiring both your nervous system and theirs. I know what you're thinking. Let me address the 3 biggest objections. Objection 1. My child is too strong-willed for this gentle approach. Here's what research on strong-willed children reveals. They don't resist discipline. They resist control. Strong-willed kids have a fierce need for autonomy. When you command, they push back. Not because they're defiant, because their brain is wired to protect their sense of agency. That same trait that makes them difficult? That's exactly what makes them excellent self-regulators once they feel ownership. Give a strong-willed child a rhythm chart and say, this is your rhythm. You're in charge of it. Watch them become the most responsible person in your house. You're not fighting their nature anymore. You're channeling it. Objection 2. This is too Japanese. It won't work for my family culture. Listen. This isn't about chopsticks and bowing. This is about how human brains develop self-regulation. Children in Mexico, Nigeria, Sweden, and Australia all build discipline the same way. Through repetition, basal ganglia, through responsibility, competence, through modeled calm, nervous system co-regulation, through trusted autonomy, prefrontal cortex development. The developmental neuroscience doesn't change based on your zip code. Japanese culture simply preserved and systematized these principles, but they're universal. Objection 3. I don't have time to create charts and systems. I get it. You're drowning. You're managing work, meals, laundry, emails, appointments. Adding more feels impossible. But here's the truth you need to hear. Right now, you're spending your time reminding 5 times per task, negotiating 10 minutes per conflict, escalating emotional energy you can't get back, repairing, apologizing, feeling guilty. That's hours every single day managing behavior. With Shitsuke, you invest 2 to 3 hours up front, making charts, establishing rhythms, teaching skills. Then your child manages themselves. You're not adding to your plate. You're teaching your child to carry their own. The time investment now buys you years of freedom later. Remember that scene we started with? Your child in pajamas, ignoring you, waiting for you to lose control? That doesn't have to be your reality anymore. You don't have to nag. You don't have to yell. You don't have to threaten, bribe, or battle through every single transition. Because discipline isn't something you force onto children. It's something their bodies learn to do automatically when you replace instructions with rhythms their brain can automate. Give them real responsibilities that build genuine competence. Model the calm their nervous system learns to mirror. Trust them to solve problems. Their prefrontal cortex strengthens by handling, that's Shitsuke. And it works. Not because it's Japanese, because it aligns with how children's brains actually wire for self-control. Look, if you've been relying on reminders, consequences, and escalation, you haven't failed. You've been doing what you were taught. But now you know there's another way. You can start today, right now. Pick one step. Make that morning rhythm chart. Give your child one real contribution. Practice quiet modeling. Ask one ownership question instead of giving one command. Start small. Stay consistent. Watch what changes. Your child can regulate themselves. Their brain is wired for it. They just need you to stop regulating for them and start cultivating their capacity to regulate themselves. But here's what you need to know. The moment your child's nervous system gets overwhelmed, too much stress, too much dysregulation, all of this collapses. The rhythms don't work. The self-regulation disappears. And you're back to meltdowns. Which is why I created the STOP method, a 4-step system that resets your child's nervous system in under 60 seconds, before it spirals into a full meltdown. It's the emergency protocol that protects everything you just learned. Click the video on screen now. I'll show you exactly how it works. Click the video on screen now. I'll show you exactly how it works.